The most important message is we have to follow up the digital trends, because it's not only transforming the business but transforming the society as well.
I also feel that many executives feel that it's really hard to get a grip on AI, how to start, where to start, what to do. In the same time, there is a tremendous amount of pressure, hype, and fear of missing out in the air. Yes. Everyone feels that this train is going to leave without me.
It's not the question in the following years every organization will change. The question is how fast and how frequently. The bigger the noise is and the bigger the change is, the more simple our goals have to be. And the focus have to be much more sharper than before.
First, get your challenges, get your goals straight. Like, what do you want to solve? And then it oftentimes comes out that AI is not the right answer to that, because to many challenges, there might be a simple, more straightforward solution. It can be robotization, it can be automation, it can be also AI, but before tying the suit to the knot, make sure that it is really AI what you need, because it's a very costly endeavor.
Welcome everybody on SEEDEA Executive School's SEEDEA podcast series. I am László Eszes, CEO and Academic Director of SEED, and we have two distinguished guests with us today. Both of you are new members of SEED faculty, Krisztián Kurtisz, CEO of UNIQA Hungary, and András Fischer, OTP Group's Innovation Director. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you for the invitation.
You are both senior executives well known in Hungary and in the Central European business community, so we don't need to introduce who you are. But still, let's start with a personal question. You are both super busy executives. What is your personal motivation for joining SEED faculty as senior leadership experts on digital transformation? Why? Why do you spend this extra time on developing leaders and managers on digital transformation? Krisztián?
I'm already 26 years working as some kind of manager in the insurance industry, and a lot of experience coming together and a lot of success and a lot of failure. And after a while, maybe around 50, you sometimes think it's worth to spread these experiences with others, and a little bit looking out from the industry, from the insurance industry where I'm working since more than 20 years, and have a look in other industries and other trends. And this is a good opportunity to share the experience and look around a little bit.
What about you, András?
It is a little bit similar. I just counted while Krisztián was talking that I have 16 years of working experience, first 6 in the management consulting. So this was the phase when, as a consultant, I tried to give good advices to companies, but never saw it actually happening, because then I was already on another project. That's when I decided to sit on the other side of the table and experience the actual doing it. And I just celebrated my 10th anniversary at OTP Bank. So maybe this is another level of evolution. When I have something already experienced, I would be happy to share with others. And I'm also a big believer in a two-way learning. So by connecting other people from other industries, potentially, I very much believe so that I will be able to learn also something from them.
Thank you. And you have just designed a new program for SEED. It's it's going to run soon under the title Business Leadership in the Digital Era. What are the most important messages that you would like to convey with this program, and who did you design it for?
The most important message is we have to follow up the digital trends, because it's not only transforming the business, but transforming the society as well. And as it's transforming the society, it's going to have effect on the businesses. So we are starting from that aspect. So not just having a look on the trends itself and how we are using it in our own business, but what will be the effect of the daily life of the customers, the daily life of the clients of any industry. And on one hand side, this is so fascinating to have a look in this kind of trends. On the other hand side, it's influenced so much the businesses that they have to be prepared. And this is a certain kind of early warning for those who are not starting already some kind of digital transformation, and whom we are looking for this, and whom we are proposing this 4 days workshop kind of training, collecting knowledge and sharing knowledge, is those who see and C-1 level leaders who from any industry who are interested in the digital trends, facing with some challenges in the digital transformation.
I think you quite comprehensively summarized it. I would just add it that you might have an actual plan in your mind that you want to start a transformation, or you want to be ahead of the curve instead of behind the curve, or you want to improve the digital customer experience, or you want to build something new. We can call it a venture, a new business initiative that is rooted in digital assets or digital capabilities. Then I think this program is for you, because we strive to help to formulate a plan and actually giving you something tangible, very actionable output at the end of this 4-day.
In your program, you're going to follow 6 steps to digital transformation. And the first one is that a successful digital leader should be aware of the trends and follow the trends and focus on the trends that matter most. What are the trends that you are following currently in your own industries, in insurance and banking? Maybe András, let's start with you.
I'm happy to start with, and quite honestly, I wouldn't make a distinction between my industry or Krisztián's industry, because if we are only focusing on key trends, those are so transformative that I believe they are relevant in almost any industries. And I think I will list 5 to 6 trends, and of course the list could go on, but I don't want to spoiler everything before the course itself. So I think unquestionably that on the top of the hype curve is AI today. So artificial intelligence is one of those. Strongly connected to this, there is 2 other things. One is cloud and the other one is data. This is sort of a triangle, strongly interlinked trends and also capabilities. But also in the IT, there is a so-called low-code, no-code trend, which I believe is going to be also transformative. And I would add the hyper-automation, because with the fast pace of technology changing and increasing personal costs, I think productivity is one of the strongest pressing issues of companies. Therefore, automation is a key aspect of how to run a company. And lastly, one business trend, because I was rather focusing on digital and technology trends, which is business ecosystems. In other words, looking beyond your core business and looking for adjacent business opportunities.
Can you give us any examples that OTP Group is capitalizing on any of these trends?
Happily, at OTP Bank, we have been building up a so-called beyond banking ecosystem, and we are already present in a numerous number of other industries. Like we are in e-commerce, we are present in healthcare, in real estate, or in the travel industry as well, with our own established companies.
And what are the successes so far?
The maturity of these companies vary. So some of those, for instance, OTP Travel has been around from the late 80s, whereas our latest venture, which is fizz.hu, our e-commerce company, just turned 1 year old. Actually, their first birthday was yesterday. So I think it's early to say whether they are successful or not. But one thing is for sure, that we already see very strong synergies between those companies and between the mothership, so to say, the bank itself.
Krisztián, are there any other trends that you would add to András's list?
I think what will be interesting in that part when we are dealing with the trends, we are trying to give with these 6 steps to everyone who is attending. If I'm pessimistic, I would say to decrease the failure rate. If I'm optimistic, I would say that to increase the success rate. So a certain kind of promise of this course when we are checking the trends, if you follow this kind of methodology, what we're trying to introduce in these courses, then your chance to success in a digital transformation could be increased. And one of them included the trends as well. So we are trying to give certain kind of guideline how to watch the trends. Not the exact trend itself, but how to watch the trends and which kind of cycle certain trends could go in, and when to sit on it or when to not sit on it. Of course, this is a personal judgment at the end of the day of every business leader, but at least we are trying to give some kind of guidance, what to look, if any, trend popping up. Because as András mentioned, there are certain trends we are explicitly focused on in the digitalization, but as there was the blockchain hype, now this is the AI hype, which is a little bit stronger, it seems like, but there will be next trends as well. And we want to give some kind of guidance how to watch the next trend as well.
What trends have you jumped on with UNIQA?
We are jumping on the digital automation trend. So what we try to do lately is how to optimize the administration of the insurance business. And in this administration, we are aiming to have the lowest operating expense when we are dealing with such things like policy administration, claim handling. And there will be some guest speaker on our course as well, and whom together we are just recently started an innovation in claim management in AI. So we are aiming to making some kind of AI development, how we are managing the claims first in property insurances.
Talking about AI, there is no leadership or business conversation today without AI. And of course, in a digital transformation course, this is going to be a central topic. If you want to summarize it in short, what are your main messages about AI for business executives who are still uncertain how to address it?
I just want to connect to you that I also feel that many executives feel that it's really hard to get a grip on AI, how to start, where to start, what to do. In the same time, there is a tremendous amount of pressure, hype, and fear of missing out in the air. Everyone feels that this train is going to leave without me. So I just want to put everyone's mind at ease that it's not going anywhere. AI is here to stay, and I would urge not to bring any rash decisions, because that can be very costly. So what I tell to every executives that I discuss this topic with is that first, get your challenges, get your goals straight. Like, what do you want to solve? And then it oftentimes comes out that AI is not the right answer to that, because to many challenges, there might be a simple, more straightforward solution. It can be robotization, it can be automation, it can be low code, no code, business process management, it can be lean. It can be also AI, but before tying the suit to the knot, make sure that it is really AI what you need, because it's a very costly endeavor. And then there is a first step, what you can do, have digitalized lean processes, because that's sort of a fundamentum you need to have before building your house onto something unstable. Secondly, once you have good digital processes, you need to tackle the data management and the cloud management in order, because as I said previously, these three topics are very strongly correlated. And once you have that, then you can come to the decision whether to buy or build. That's also a very complex question. If you find a solution that fits your needs in terms of price, quality, assurance, everything, then I think it's wiser to go with the buy instead of building, because after the build you will also need to sustain it. Finally, in any way you choose, whether it's buy or build, you will need to invest into education, because as I said, AI is here to stay, and I think it brings many opportunities. Doesn't matter where you are in your organization, what role you have, what seniority you have, you need to prepare your staff for the opportunities that AI can bring to you.
Krisztián, one of your frequently said messages is that we need to see beyond the buzzwords, and we need to understand the reality. What is, in your opinion, the reality behind the buzzwords in terms of AI?
AI is currently the universal hammer, and everything is a nail. So currently that's how we see always. That was the blockchain back then, when there is always a hype on an actual buzzword. But based on my experience, if there is a buzzword, then we try to not invest the basics in our business, where we're going back to the roots of the business, how this business is really working, what is the basic dynamic of this business. And as András mentioned previously, if we understand where the basic dynamics, if it's already clear what we want to do, then maybe this hammer is the AI, maybe this hammer is something else. And we are usually sit on these buzzwords and we think, and let me be a little bit provocative, this will solve the basic work. And we don't have to work that much and go back and do the homework. The homework always have to be done. And the homework could be done much more efficient if we use one of these trends, no matter if it's an AI, no matter if it's something. And you can find always on the first page of every good presentation this buzzword jungle. And of course, all the advisor companies are knocking on the door and try to selling something connecting to these buzzwords. And sometimes don't forget they are making the hype curves, and because this is the business model itself. So basically, that is why we have to first understand our business, lean it, and now a little bit of controversial people, but someone said the best spare part is the non-existing spare part when you design a new car, because it's not going to be broken. And what my experience is, we want to replace the old spare part with the new buzzwords. So, and that will not work. That will not work.
When we talk about digital transformation or the use of the digital opportunities, there are typically three types of use cases. The first one is operational efficiency. Reduce the costs, make the processes more efficient, faster. The second category is customer experience enhancement. Use digitalization to offer something more pleasant, more what the customer needs. And the third category is to come up with completely new business models. In your experience, which category is most used by now in Central Eastern Europe? And where are we missing out if you look beyond your companies?
quite honestly, I do not have any statistics, and CE is such a broad area, so I wouldn't dare even to guess it in Hungary, not to speak about the CE. But just out of feeling what's going on, I would vote on the first one, operational efficiency. There has been in the past couple of years a hiking inflation rate, wages and personal taxes increasing, and I sort of feel that in every industry, including banking, cost is a very pressing issue. Because if you manage to lower your cost, then it can bring you an edge. You can be more competitive in terms of pricing on the market. Then you have more left to invest into future technologies, new businesses, etc., etc. And obviously, you have a higher profit margin. So I feel that this could be the one if I have to choose one.
As well, I don't have a detailed look on this part of the sea, but as the previously leading retail business for UNIQA.
You have led the business in how many countries?
In 15 countries.
All across the region.
Where we have seen we are always want to gain efficiency. So, and increase efficiency, and that is where digitalization coming into the pictures. And of course, there is a high need on customer side for the digitalization as well. And I think all the service industry stepping quite big banks, telco companies, even utility providers, insurance companies. We are as well, our industry, to make a simple, smooth customer journey on onboarding. But this is all starting not directly from the business side, but rather the client services, the maintenance, and all of this very administrative heavy jobs are starting to be solved on digital way, where we are a little bit lacking behind. And frankly speaking, I don't know why, because maybe we are a little bit become lazy in innovation. Because if you have a look around, very few unicorn you can find in the European Union and in CE as well. Yes, you can say this is due to capital requirement or all of this stuff, but if you have a good idea, it should be capable to grown up worldwide, but we see less than in any other countries or continents.
Just to add to that thought, I think productivity and the lack of it, so to say, in Hungary or in the region is a long prevailing phenomena. And I think it's a good thing that we talk about how to use digital tools and capabilities to improve our efficiency, because that means that as the wages are increasing and maybe closing the gap to that of on the Western Europe, previously expensive technologies that wouldn't make sense because it's cheaper to hire someone, they are more and more becoming more and more affordable. So on the one hand, it's a good news because hopefully wages are coming closer to the Western ones, and we have newer, so to say, sexy technologies becoming affordable that we can bring into the organization and increase not only the awareness, but the competency of our colleagues to use those.
Does it mean that the future organization will be a mixture of humans and AI agents?
Absolutely, absolutely. I think that's not the future. That's already the present.
That's already the present. What will be the key issues in your opinion when, I mean, so far we have been talking about an organization being some sort of collaboration of humans. And now we are talking, and more we will be talking about collaboration of humans and AI agents, or humans enabled or supported by AI tools. What new challenges do you see in these types of organizations?
The main challenge is all company will change structural wise. And if you have a look on the ratio of the average employees, which kind of department, how many people working, back then, roughly 10 years ago, I had a hypothesis when I said the insurance industry will change, and basically every insurance company will be an IT company with insurance flavor. As currently we see now, the biggest retailer, Amazon, is an IT company with retail flavor. Netflix is an IT company with filmmaking flavor. So that is how all the industries are changing. And recently, I have seen a few numbers about how exactly in insurance industry in the following 5 years, the composition of the staff will change, how step by step administration functions in operation will disappear, how heavily IT departments are increasing, and how heavily process management departments are increasing. And meanwhile, all these administrative functions will be replaced by some kind of automation / AI. And there is a very interesting financial effect of this game. When we really take the time to make a business case, if we have a look into changing administrative processes to certain kind of development, if we would honestly make this calculation, maybe in a lot of cases we would keep the administration, because the cost of such people currently in IT, in process engineering, in the tools, and don't forget, we going to face with some kind of central pricing in AI as well. So as this curve is running up, the centralization is happening in the few companies. So basically, currently I have a labor question in the Hungarian market. Then my AI agent is going to be priced in the United States. So that is a very tricky question. How much a decision maker is ready to be dependent from a decision in the United States? Because if I have all in my administration AI agent, it will be a tricky question how it will be priced compared with some kind of local classical human resources. So it will be rise up a lot of questions in the following years.
I think it will bring many challenges. Just to tackle a little bit the organizational or human part, these kind of changes in the organization are really time consuming. The pace of external change is really rapid. And we talk about AI, within 6 months, we see the world upside down, and there are new models, there are new capabilities, and so on and so forth. Now, 6 months within the life of a large organization is not much. If you want to change the culture, if you want to change the processes, that's nothing. So I think that's the largest challenge, how you prepare your organization to such a huge change involving robots, involving AI agents as digital colleagues, so to say, and it will affect everyone. So don't imagine this as a new department evolving and those guys will be the smart AI modelers and that's it. No, it will affect everyone's life. For instance, the legal department or compliance or data people or even procurement, IT risk, and I could expand the list. Everyone's job description will be expanded and they will need to grow this understanding and capability how AI is affecting their part of work.
The space is very rapid. So we just recently having a look in the cost figures of administration system where we aiming just 3 years ago to having multi-language, multi-currency solution for insurance administration. And just yesterday discussed if we would do it today, then the cost of this multi-language storyline and translation and all of this document, the different T's and C's, we really estimated it would be just 1% of the cost then it was
1%.
1% of the cost, then it
Wow.
was just
3
just 3 years
ago.
ago.
Wow.
Because back then it's really needed a translator, a professional one. Now we just need someone who is lecturing it, and it could be run basically in 1 week time in 4 languages. So and this is on one hand side going with the speed which we cannot imagine, and it was just 3 years ago, and we would do the business totally differently.
Wow. Now, the big question is, of course, derived from all this, how do you design strategy in such a fast-changing environment? Strategy, having a good digital strategy is one of the 6 steps in your framework. But how do you plan a strategy or design a strategy when everything is changing so dramatically in a couple of months or years? How do you go about it at OTP and UNIQA? Because in theory, I think it's easy to talk about it, but what do you actually do in terms of designing your strategies?
The good news is the following: the old school is not changing. At the end of the day, those organizations, which is for profit, at the end of the day, they have to make some money for the shareholders. And the shareholder value could come from whether from value creation or whether from cash creation. And this will remain the same. The big difference will be that the bigger the noise is and the bigger the change is, the more simple our goals have to be. And the focus have to be much more sharper than before. So no matter if it's digital changes or this is just an environment changes, every business model have to find the roots of their origin, the goal of their origin, and none of any digital transformation will help us if our core beliefs or core processes and core target business goals are not okay. Anyhow, we will fail even with digitalization or without digitalization. So basically the strategy creation is the same, but much more focused what we really want to do. Because with digital transformation, we intend to forget things. We have seen a lot of companies who starting huge digital transformation. The bigger it was, the failure chance was the bigger. The smaller it was, the success rate was even higher because of the learning curve of some kind of agility in this method. So nothing is changed, that the focus have to be much more clearer, and the business target and going back to the roots, it's have to be much more precise defined than in a different environment.
I largely agree with Krisztián that the steps did not change, but the tools, the capabilities, that's what became different as we talk about new technologies, new business models. That's why it's important to keep up with the new trends. But the steps itself didn't change. You need to have a clear goal. You need to create a timeline. You need to have KPIs. You need to list up the risks that you want to somehow mitigate, and so on and so forth. And you need to have a very crystal clear, sharp target, not to focus on many things in the same time, especially when it is about a large organization. I would rather chop it up into a series of smaller targets instead of one spaceship building, which is prone to failure.
Okay, so focus and probably systematic step-by-step process. These are the strategies, but we all know that culture, fortunately or unfortunately, eats all these nice strategies for breakfast. So, and this is the last element of your 6-step methodology. What are your key messages about building a digital culture, and a culture that is going to embrace something the digital technology that is changing continuously, that you cannot really embrace, because by the time you have embraced it, it has changed. So what sort of culture do we need in this environment, and how should business leaders build these cultures? What are your messages on this?
I have basically two messages. One is that because of exactly what you just said, we don't need to build new technologies itself. Obviously, this is something we need, but that alone is not enough. We need to build capabilities. We need to make the organization and the people within ready to change. So that itself is a capability, to be ready, to be eager, to be open for changing. That's one thing. And second thing is that I was, when I was younger, in a competitive sport art, judo, and my that time master always told us that, don't worry guys, I don't expect you to do anything that I cannot do myself. And I think it's a very wise thing to say, because whenever it comes to change, whenever it comes to implementing something new, should it be AI, should it be another digital tool, I think the leader should be in the forefront of changing. They should be the one who try it first. Then the whole change process and the objectives of the project becomes much more credible, because I don't expect my colleagues to do anything that I myself wouldn't try out or I wouldn't be able to do. So I think that leading by example is very important in shaping the culture.
That is not easy though, because we all know that all these digital technologies are best known by the young generations, and leaders are typically the older generation. So what I see a lot is that these older generations, and I include myself in this category as well, have an extra difficulty in being the role models on digital technology.
But I didn't say that we need to be role models, or we need to be the ones who are the expert or the masters of using or even enhancing these tools. But we need to be among the first ones who tries it, even with some help, and then to tell our experience whether it really worked for us.
Well, trying I can do. Nothing's wrong with that. Krisztián, how do you go about culture?
And the most important thing, what you just discussed with a little bit of different angles, so respect learning. And that is what we have to put in the whole organization, because it's not the question in the following years every organization will change. The question is how fast and how frequently. And we intend to talking about change, and sometimes the average employees of a company is, oh, change, it's always boring, we change since years, but everything is the same. But to really not going into this trap, we have to adopt the learning capability into the system, how new things are coming in, how we implement new things, and how we are communicating new things, because a lot of times we are talking about you have to change, but on the other hand side, what will be the benefit of this change in your daily life? And I think I can speak in the name of András as well, that we are here now because we want to try something new. We never been lecturing other C-level managers in a structured way like this. But we intend to do this because we believe we can learn something new from other industries, which we can maybe implement in banking or in insurance as well. So that is the key message is to really be ready to learn something new.
And a link to that, I have my last question, and that is, at SEED, we pride ourselves that we are not in the know-how business, because know-how is available now everywhere, but we are in the do-how business. So all of our courses are very practical, hands-on, and our participants leave with tools and techniques and knowledge that they can use from tomorrow. How do you plan to realize that in your course? How will your course be a do-how program?
We are aiming to do the following. So every 6 step we are going to give to the participants some kind of guidance how to not lost in this digital jungle. This is not said that in this case you have to use AI. We rather try to give some kind of guidance for every steps, what you should ask from yourself, what you should check, what you should measure to make your own decision, which direction you are going in. And it was funny, as we are preparing for these courses, we have rather a lot of examples with the guest speakers. We have a lot of stories and a lot of experience, failures, successes, and we are in the different kind of problem with the preparing of András, how to structure it as a lecture, and because it is over experience based than theological part. So what we try to do is to focus on to rise up in every step the good questions and honestly answer for this good question. And somehow the promise, if you ask this question and honestly answer for this question, then your failure rate will be lower than from the starting point.
András, what's your do-how approach?
Pretty similar what Krisztián just said, so it's hard to add. We try to compile a very exciting, very experienced set of guest lecturers. There will be international companies, there will be Hungarian companies, and lots of stories and real life good or bad examples how to do or how not to do something. So pretty much what Krisztián described.
Gentlemen, I cannot wait to participate in this course. I certainly will be there and learn from you, from your vast experience. Thank you very much for this interesting conversation. And again, looking forward to continue working with you as new SEED faculty members.
Thank you so much.